Good morning, friends. Hello, hello. Good morning. Hope you're doing great this morning. How are you, friends? Good morning. Hello, hello. We are on the road today, so I hope you're doing well. That there's goodness in your day as we are traveling together. Hey, John. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing good. Hello, friends. Glad you're here. Hey, Karen. Good morning to you. Yep. A little housekeeping there. Good morning, friends. All right. Good morning, good morning. Hello, everyone. All right. Well, let's get going this morning. It is the 12th day of May in 2026. Can you believe it, friends? On this Tuesday, another week of our 11/11 journey. I pray that you are well and good and whole, and that there is much in your days that is to bring a blessing. You know, I've been thinking about this quote from Revelation about the name of Jesus, and there are a lot of names of Jesus. So when we can get into all kinds of them, there's all kinds of different ways that Jesus gets called, Jesus gets described, Jesus gets talked about, Jesus gets named. And one in the Revelation is this: he is the one who is, and the one who was, and the one who is to come. This notion that he is present in our future, he is present in our present, like in our day, in our time right now, that we can call on him, and he is actually present and working in our past. But the piece of this that I've been thinking about lately, that I think is compelling, is this notion of the Jesus who is to come. Because you hear a lot about it these days, right? Like you pick up the news and there's all the people who are out there, trying to make the end of the world come, be excited about the end of the world, that there's some end times things, whatever, so there's that quality, the one who is to come, that Jesus is going to come to us in this great trumpets in the sky sort of way. And sure, that's true. And Jesus also says that even the angels in heaven don't know when that's going to happen. So maybe we can just shelve that one for a while. Maybe we can just put a pin in that and let it go. That it's because it's not helping us thinking in those terms. The second one that we understand is kind of the Jesus who is to come, in the sense of our the engagement of our mortality. That there is a day in which we will join the heavenly choir. Will we be a part of the saints of triumphant? Will we be a part of those that we will leave this world and leave our mortal body and go into the next life, and the great by and by will welcome us home, and that Jesus that is to come will make all things right, and no tears will be shed, which is a beautiful and wonderful promise that we can stand in and hold. And I think that our lives would probably be enhanced if we actually spent a little more time in that place. Like, what would it be if we were to be stuck in traffic on 24 and actually recognize and remember that we are eternal beings, that we actually are God's own children, made for eternity already, not in some great by and by way, that the truth of the one who is to come is already true. So there's that too. But the one that's really been working on me, that I think I want to spend more time with in some ways, is remember, this is kind of the name of Jesus. So this talks about equality. This talks about kind of how he is, and that Jesus is the one who is, and the one who was, and the one who is to come. is to say that Jesus is present in our future self, in our future being, in who we are, not now, but who we are going to be, and that we can trust him. We can trust not just the story that we have right now, not just our day-to-day challenges that we're dealing with right now, but the ones that we will face in the future, and the ones that will unfold in the days ahead. That we can trust Jesus to give us the resources, to give us the way, to give us the growth, to give us the transformation, to be able to not just endure, but to flourish in the midst of whatever comes next. I remember being young, and when I think I was a teenager at the time, maybe, and I remember thinking about the death of my father. Now it wouldn't come my dad passed 4 years ago. So, there was a long stretch from that time as a teenager thinking about, for the first time, I think it was the first time maybe I noticed my dad was aging, and there's this thing where the immortals, when you realize the immortals of your life are mortal, and I had that that moment. And I remember thinking about, God, I don't know how to deal with that. Like, I don't know how would I deal with the death of my dad? Like, I can't possibly deal with that. I'm not going to make it. Like, if that happens. And, well, my dad passed 4 years ago, and I broke my heart, and I miss him every day. I think about him often. I think about the gifts that he gave me. I think about the challenges he had and things that he carried. But I also think about the person I was 4 years ago who had to be there with him at the end and kind of try to take care of him as best we could, to try to raise him up among the community, to have a little memorial for him, and to speak on his behalf, and to raise him up to the saints. All things that my 15-year-old self could not have imagined me doing, nevertheless even surviving his passing. That just, what would a world look like without that? And it dawned on me, this is it. This is what Jesus' name, when we say call on the name of Jesus, that this is what calling on his name actually looks like in our life. That when we say, when we talk about this name, the one who is, the one who was, and the one who is to come. Because we can call on him in all the things that we don't know how we're going to handle. Maybe we're facing our own mortality. Maybe we're facing our own weakness. Maybe we're facing the loss of somebody we love. Maybe we're facing the ultimate loss of whatever's coming up in ahead of us. Maybe we have a conversation that we need to have that we don't know how to have. Maybe we have a relationship that's broken that we don't know how to heal, but that there's going to be a day in which we have to have that conversation. We have to have the thing, or that's coming up, and that we can trust Jesus, and we can trust Jesus with to bring us the resources, to craft us, and not just that he's going to give us these gifts, but that he's going to make us and mold us and transform us into people that we could not and really should not attempt even to be on our own. But to be in him, we become able to not only endure these things, but to flourish with the challenges of our future. So when you hear that name of Jesus, the one who is, the one who was, and the one who is to come, we can hear in him this joy-filled ringing of whatever comes next, I'm going to be there in it with you. And I'm not just as a bystander, but I'm going to be working with your very soul. I'm going to be working with your very mind. I'm going to be working with your very body. I'm going to be working with your very self to transform you into the agent to be able to handle that thing. That metanoia, that turning towards him that will happen, that metamorphosis, that sanctification, that regeneration, all those great churchy words that we have, that of how we are transformed and how we are changed, is the beauty of what the promise of the future. And I know many of us look at the future and look at the way ahead and we're like, oh boy, it's all coming undone. $42 trillion worth of debt, like in the federal government. What are we going to do? We look at the future and we say all of these things that are just coming unglued and coming undone. And but we have to remember that God is not just the God of of right now, and not even the God of the things that happened in the past and has gotten us to this point, but is also the God of the future and is making a place and preparing us for the challenges that are going to come in it. And that we can trust him. We can trust him and we can trust ourselves to receive that grace. And that might be the hardest part of it all, right? That we can actually say like, oh yeah, I know God's got it, but do I got it? But God is going to make you and transform you and build you into somebody that does have it, that is capable of great and hard things, that does have that future thing that is on your mind, niggling away at you, kind of gnawing on gnawing on your skull, just scraping away at you. That very thing God is already in the business of preparing you for. And when I mean preparing you, he's not just, putting a couple extra dollars in your bank account. He is shaping you and transforming you and bringing you strength and fidelity and courage and wisdom and goodness right at the moment that you're going to need it. And that we can trust that. And that the hardest part in our lives is often when we don't. When we don't think we can handle it, so we shriek in fear. When we don't think we can make it. When we don't trust that God actually has our future self in mind when today is being shaped. And that the challenges of today are built for us to give us and the weights that we lift today are to give us the muscles for tomorrow to do the great things in which we are given to do. Friends, my hope for you today is that you will spend a little time with the Jesus who is to come, and that you will trust him with your future, and not just with the things that you're going to get or that he'll take care of you, but that you are being made and are made to be able to step into the future with great goodness, with great joy, with great strength, and that you have already been prepared and already being prepared to be the person to glorify God and to be glorified in the midst of what is to come. Peace and grace to you all, my friends, and we'll pick it up tomorrow with another 11:11.